들어보고 싶다.
약간 좀
네, 약간 좀 단단하게 좀 해보고 싶다.
여러분의 800만 넘어가면 방식 비리님들 주정합니다.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Jikook Diaries channel. Have you ever seen someone whose gaze felt different? Not just a look, but something deeper? That's what sent fans into a frenzy when this moment was captured on camera. Jungkook stared at Jimin, and in a matter of seconds, everything seemed to change. It wasn't a normal smile. It wasn't a normal reaction. But something that made many people wonder, was this just a coincidence? Or was it evidence that had been hidden all this time? In this video, we'll explore the moments that convinced fans that Jungkook's gaze on Jimin was anything but ordinary. Behind the bright stage lights and the never-sleeping glitz of the entertainment world, there are small moments that often go unnoticed, moments that only the most attentive eye can capture. And among all those moments, there's one that continues to leave fans wondering, debating, and even wholeheartedly convinced. Jungkook's gaze at Jimin is anything but ordinary. It often starts with seemingly simple things. A glance mid-performance, a small smile that appears for no apparent reason, or the way someone notices another when they're not aware they're being watched. But in this world, where every movement is recorded and analyzed by millions of eyes, simple is never truly simple. Fans look deeper. They sense something that can't be explained simply by the word coincidence. Many say that Jungkook is someone whose expression is difficult to predict. He can appear relaxed, cool, and even playful all at once. However, when Jimin was near him, there was a subtle yet noticeable change. His gaze softened. There was a different focus, as if the world around him dimmed, leaving only one person in the frame. And that's where things started to feel different. Several viral moments showed Jungkook staring at Jimin in a way that wasn't typical of a groupmate, not just a spontaneous reaction. There was an intensity there. There was depth. Fans called it silent language. A language without words that only those who felt it could understand. In one much-talked-about clip, Jungkook paused for a moment, his eyes following Jimin's every movement. No words were spoken, no major action occurred. But that was precisely the power. The gaze seemed too long to be accidental, too deep to be considered ordinary. Fans began to ask, was this just an overinterpretation? Or was there something more? Theory after theory emerged. Some believed their relationship was more than friendship. Others saw a natural chemistry that couldn't be faked. Others even said it had been there all along, only now it was becoming harder to hide. But what makes it all the more compelling is its consistency. This isn't just one moment, not just one video, but dozens, even hundreds of tiny pieces that, when put together, form a pattern that's hard to ignore. The way Jungkook reflexively looks for Jimin in a crowd. The way he smiles differently when Jimin speaks. The way that look recurs, seemingly unconsciously. And fans notice it all. In the world of fandom, even the smallest detail can be telling. A hand gesture, a change in expression, even a pause in conversation. And when they all point in the same direction, it's hard not to feel that there's something real behind it. Some fans even say that Jungkook's gaze at Jimin has a story, that there's an unspoken emotion within it. A feeling that can only be felt, not explained. That might sound exaggerated to some, but for those who've been following this journey from the beginning, it all makes sense, because they've seen how this relationship has evolved. From lighthearted banter to emotional moments, and finally to the gazes that are now the center of attention. What makes it all the more powerful is how Jungkook can't seem to completely hide it. In many situations, even when the camera isn't directly focused on him, his eyes keep returning to Jimin, as if it's the most natural thing to do. And therein lies the beauty. It's not something contrived. It's not something forced. It's something that happens naturally, without a script, without direction. Something that can only emerge when there's a strong connection between two people. Fans call it proof. Not proof in the literal sense, but proof in the form of feelings. Proof that what they're seeing isn't an illusion. that there's something truly different there. But of course, not everyone agrees. Some say this is just the fans' interpretation, that in the entertainment world, this kind of interaction is normal. That closeness doesn't always mean more than friendship. And maybe they're right.
야, 그래서 형이 왔잖아. 그러니까. 맞네. 아니, 나
But ultimately, what keeps this all alive is how each person experiences it differently. There's no definitive answer, no clear confirmation, just fragments of moments that continue to be analyzed, talked about, and felt. And perhaps that's what makes it so compelling. Because in that uncertainty, there's room to believe. There's room to hope. There's room to see something more than what's visible on the surface. Jungkook's gaze on Jimin may never have been directly explained, never confirmed with words, but for many fans it was enough, because sometimes one look can say more than 1,000 words, and when that look keeps appearing, keeps being felt, keeps leaving a mark on the hearts of those who see it, it's hard to take it for granted. Maybe it's not about seeking absolute truth, maybe it's not about proving something logically, but about feeling, about seeing with the heart, not just the eyes. And as long as those moments persist, as long as that look keeps happening, one thing will remain the same. Fans will continue to believe that what they saw was no coincidence. That behind it all, there's something real. Something that doesn't need to be said, because it's already clearly visible. In one unusual look, there's room to believe. There's room to hope. There's room to see something more than what's visible on the surface. Jungkook's gaze on Jimin may never have been directly explained, never confirmed with words, but for many fans that's enough, because sometimes one look can say more than 1,000 words, and when that look keeps appearing, keeps being felt, keeps leaving a mark on the hearts of those who see it, it's hard to dismiss it as something ordinary. Maybe it's not about seeking absolute truth. Maybe it's not about proving something logically, but about feeling, about seeing with the heart, not just the eyes. And as long as those moments persist, as long as those glances continue, one thing will remain the same. Fans will continue to believe that what they saw was no coincidence. That behind it all, there's something real. Something that doesn't need to be said because it's clearly visible in that one unusual look. And at the end of it all, one question remains in the hearts of many. Was it all just a coincidence? Or was there something they've never revealed? The stare may have only lasted a few seconds, but its impact was felt much longer. And as long as moments like this keep cropping up, one thing is for sure, this story isn't truly over. If you feel the same way, feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. Do you think Jungkook's stare is truly different? Or is this just a fan's way of seeing things more deeply? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on other exciting moments about Jikook that always make your heart flutter. See you in the next video, and remember, sometimes the most honest things aren't expressed in words, but are clearly seen through a look.